Evening guys, how are we? Welcome to Just Trains TV, good evening. Thanks for joining us, and tonight we have a couple of bits and pieces up for you. We've got the Met line first of all with the S7 Plus 1. We're doing this in line as well with the release of the route just gone onto Steam. That went up last Thursday, I think it was. We've also got the upcoming Midland Main Line Derby Nottingham Leicester extension. We're going to be doing a drive from Derby down to Leicester as well, and that's going to be on the Class 222. I'll put the plan in there just in case I want to have a little read of that. But that is it in a nutshell. We're going to be going from Watford to Baker Street on the Met line this evening, after about 50 minutes or so, and then we've got a half-hour or so session on the MML. Right, I'm just going to make sure that my it's actually alright. Usually like mega zoomed down, it messes up with my green screen, but it seems to be okay. That's good. So, Mega Mac, good evening. Ben Thomas, good evening. Jamie Stevenson as well, good evening to you. Seamus, good to see you. Mad Mac, good evening. Stu, good to see you, mate. Mr. Dreamliner, good evening. Thistle, good evening. Joseph as well, good evening. And Luke, good to see you, mate. I will put my lamp on though, actually. It seems to be going rather dark. Right. You've played Train Sim ever since Rail Simulator? Yeah, same here. Many years. Can't believe it's been 13 years since the game's been out. And all them years ago, 2007 I think, weren't it, when it first came out? After MSTS. Many years were spent on that as well. So, I can do some routes minus the HUD. I can do a few. I can do the Met kind of without the HUD until I get to the tunnels, and then I have to keep my HUD up just to make sure I'm not messing up. But there's a few routes out there I can do without the HUD. But it's like a fine art driving all these routes without a HUD. There's obviously so many routes out there. It's hard to keep the knowledge. You seem to keep better knowledge of certain ones rather than others, don't you? But yeah, as you've put in there, Watford Aldgate. I think the easier sections are outside the tunnels. As soon as you get in the tunnels, without the HUD, it's quite hard work. You have to be on your toes with that. Good evening, Alex. How are you doing, mate? You alright? Right, so we're at Watford. So we are on S7 Plus 1 this evening. Again, the S7 Plus 1 and Met bundle was released on Steam as well now, so you can get that either our website or on Steam. Of course, on the website of our website, you do get the reward points on top of that as well. Mathjik, good evening. Samurai, good evening. Right, let's get some stuff set up. So we're doing train 424, which is the 1518 Watford to Baker Street service. So we're going to set our cab up, and then we're going to also allow the passengers to board, and then on our way. I don't think we've got too far before we go. We've got about 2 minutes, just under. Alright, that's on. Stick some random duty numbers and radio stuff in there. 424 we want on that. I'm going to confirm. Now we're going to Baker Street from Watford, so we need to look for Baker Street. So Baker Street, and it's number 227 from Watford. Oh, there's any ones. We'll do 231 because we are stopping at all stations, so we'll go with slow. The doors open. Right, so if you thought of driving an S that was easy, it's not a simple press ATO. No, ATO doesn't work on our S stock. It's not been programmed in. Yeah, true. Probably would, to be quite fair. I mean, good evening to you. Right. So obviously the doors shut themselves after 30 seconds. I think it's 35 seconds, but you can obviously reopen them again. See, well, actually, it might be 45 seconds. I could be wrong there. Got a 7 plus 1 as well is all the sideway on seating. just done a mass reinstall as well, so the game's really empty now. It's nice and light. I had a lot of stuff on there. It was clogging up the game. So I think last Wednesday I bit the bullet and did the mass reinstall. It was about 500 gigabyte worth in all sorts of DLC. It's nice, and it's a nice 250 odd gigabyte now. And it runs a lot nicer. It's a grueling task though with the old reinstall, but it's worth it in the end. Right, we can go. We've got the time to go there. It's 15:18, so we're a little bit late already, which is good going. So it's 10, and then it goes up to 15 beyond the platform. Now with London Underground rules, you can actually accelerate once your nose passes the front of that sign there. So we can, even though it'll tell us off, you can power up. Ben, good to see you, mate. So we don't have too many approach controls on this run tonight. We have, coming off this line, going on to the Watford Triangle as an approach control. And then the next lot, I think, is actually when we get into the tunnels, so it's actually quite a relatively easy run, this one. As we're going down to Baker Street, which is down here. We're going to Baker Street platform 1. Yeah, Samurai is all sorted. I do. You always creep over. Does anyone else find that? You always creep over when you might actually like more than you need to, even when you try not to. Try your hardest, but even still, it goes over. Because it's the bay platform 1. This is going as far as Baker Street, so they put it into the bay. Uxbridge branch, yes, the majority are approach controlled. So we're going to be calling it Croxley, Moor Park, Northwood Hills, Pinner, North Harrow, Harrow on the Hill, Northwick Park, Preston Road, Wembley Park, Finchley Road, and finally Baker Street. Good evening, Rob Allen. How are you, mate? Just crossing over. No, I think we've just gone over actually. Got the canal down here. They're always here then. They're always watching the trains go by. Right, Croxley, first stop. It's just under half a mile away. Yeah, certainly, Jamie. That's not an issue, mate. So they try and approach platforms at like 35 mile an hour, I do believe. I'm doing about 30, but if you're coming about 35 and get your brakes right, you usually do stop bang on the mark. See if we get the cameras to come on without messing around here. Nope. Didn't go well, did it? So, all stations is what appears as well when you put the slow setup on. All S7+1s are de-icer cars, which is also indicated with the white spot on the end of the number there. Also indicated by the blue spot, which is on one of the side cars, which is that one there. On the S7+1s, you do get two. I do believe, I think there's two. Am I right? Or there was two de-icer cars, but only one of them has the spot somewhere. I think. Might be wrong. possibly could be wrong there. There is one S-Class that does have two de-icer cars on it, but only one works. Right, next up is Moore Park. We have an approach control at the moment. So, it is the next signal. Trenchcoat guy, good evening, thank you as well. So the approach control is just there. I love APT, good evening. Hey, we never do when I drive them out. Much. Ah, we're alright, we're alright. Good evening to you as well. Right. Timing section's somewhere around here, so we're just gonna bring it in. So if we go too fast, it will not change. I'm alright, thank you, mate. How's yourself? Right, here we go. So somewhere around here it should change, hopefully. There we go. Wonder if JT will ever bring a Class 86 out. Full of jokes. Nothing's new then. You've always got a joke or two. Right, so the line that's going off still, if you were to stay on it, would take you towards Chesham and Amersham and Rickmansworth beyond. We've got the substation on the right there. We've also got a Chiltern service just going across there as well. The real underground TS line. How do Schnauzer Power? How do? Next up is Moore Park, just under a mile away to Moore Park. Good evening, Willow. Good to see you, and DCFC as well. Good evening. Very well, thank you. You spent the weekend downloading Harrogate Loop and Blackpool Overland Electric. Oh, excellent stuff. I look forward to seeing what you pull out from that. Thank you for the support over there. Up to 50 mile an hour on this section. So we've got 4 lines on this section now, all the way down to. I'm trying to think how far the 4 lines go down. It's virtually down to Finchley Road, really, but at the minute you get the slow lines and the fast lines, also shared with the Chiltern Main Line. So you get services to Aylesbury. Make sure they'll get the right name there. The fast lines come in at Harrow on the Hill. But then it goes over then to Chiltern Main Line on the right hand side of us, and we then go through there. It then goes again after Harrow on the Hill, slow and fast again. It sort of like comes in and then goes back out. When you get to Wembley Park, it shares up with the Jubilee line. Then the Met line runs on the outer side lines, and then Jubilee runs in the centre lines. So, Moore Park. Someone been naughty. APT's been naughty. You've obviously said something he doesn't like. There's a load of words in our thing that obviously gets filtered. Just have to watch. Yeah, I know you probably wouldn't even have meant anything bad either. It's probably just you put a word in it, it's triggered through. Am I a fan of the Class 172 and the Orange West Midlands Railway livery? 172s are alright, but I'm not overly keen on the Orange West Midlands Railway livery, to be fair. No, that's not my cup of tea. That's the thing you see with train sim as well now. There's all these new trains that are coming out, but obviously you can't really reflect them in TS. Obviously, there's not there. It's timetable stuff. You've sort of got to go back a few years now before this new stuff started appearing. James Stephen Sim. So personally, this is your favourite JT route. So that is until the MML comes out. The custom assets and the functionality show off what you can really achieve in TS if you put your mind to it. Something worked out of 10. Thank you very much for the kind words there, Jeremy. Most appreciated. And hopefully you'll enjoy your showing this evening of Derby to Leicester. Have we got a date yet for MML extensions? Are we waiting for Will to finish some bits and bobs? We have a date. We do have a date, but we're not sharing it just yet. We will share it with you very soon. There is still some bits and pieces to be built. You will see there is a couple of gaps still on our showing tonight on the run down to Leicester. Scenery wise, it is virtually there in terms of everything else. There's just a few bits and pieces like that. There's a few bridges. Leicester itself is about 50 to 60% complete. I'm sort of working on the southern side of the city. Not town, is it really? That's on my section. There's still bits and pieces with Mark's section, but it's getting closer. It's just sort of closing the little bits and gaps now. But you'll see on our run. We'll show you as well Ratcliffe Power Station. You might have seen this afternoon. It was might be early this morning actually. There was a batch of screenshots that went onto Facebook and the website, which showed off the Ratcliffe Power Station. I will show you some of that this evening. I'm not going to go full into detail with it this evening though, but we are passing it, so I'll give you a small look at it, just so you get to see what the extent of the area is. Tom, what kind of shorts do clouds wear? Thunderpants. That is shocking. Joseph Hart, good evening. I'm slowing down far too early here. You've not missed too much, did you? Not much at all, mate. You've missed about 10 or 15 minutes worth of driving-ish, I'd say. We've just come from Watford. At least I'm going to slow down. I'm doing it properly. Good evening, Kev. It is certainly a city. Leicester town. Doesn't sound right, does it? Once you've done it a few times, the Jap, it's like riding a bike. It's easy enough. All you got to do is the main things you need to remember is put your key in, put it into tripcock, press shift and E, and you're off really. That's literally as much to get it moving. That's as much as you need to do. It's just obviously if bits and pieces, if you do go wrong, like obviously if you trip a signal and stuff like that, it's a little bit more tricky. But to get it moving, easy. Yeah. If you put it into obviously restricted manual forward, that only limits you to 10 mile an hour. People sometimes do get that mixed up. Everything in that white boundary is the restriction of speed. So that's like when you come out of like the turnbacks and stuff like that. But anything in the normal mainline running, you want to keep it in this section. So from shutdown to tripcock. Yeah, if you knock it back one from manual forward, you'll be you should be all right there. I say once you do it a few times, you have a good couple of goes, you'll get there. It's very, for me as well, I knew nothing about London Underground before I started working at Just Trains. So I started in January last year, and when I came to start working on this route, I learned quite a lot. It widened my knowledge and my enthusiasm for underground stuff and how it operates and stuff. I knew nothing of it, how anything worked, but it's when you get in them tunnels and you start messing with this, obviously getting up to the signals and trying to get them to change, it keeps you on your toes, and it gives you something like, rather than just obviously stopping and starting to a station, you've got to obviously slow down for all these signals to make them trip, and so you've got to remember the speeds and stuff like that. It keeps you busy. If you do get stuck with signals, we do have a signalling tutorial over on my YouTube channel. It's on that link there. I think I've got that wrong. Signals, there it is. That talks you through all the speeds as well. So if you're not too sure on what speed is for each one, that'll take you from Finchley Road to Aldgate and back to Finchley. It walks you through. That's the link as well. If anyone ever goes through like signal issues at support, they'll get that link as well. So we do send that over. It does. It helps quite a lot. Get this to stop on the actual cameras this time. Yay. This is the fine art. Trying to get it to stop on the right mark without moving to the other side. Just trying to judge where the chevron is. Proper trains like 142s. I think you've got your got a typo in there, Whitemead. The LIP at Leicester is just missing the fueler, so virtually it's all in there. It's just missing the canopy for the fueling stage. That's going to be coming quite soon, but you'll see all that. All the sheds are in there. The power signal box and everything's in as well. Joseph Hart, so do you know when the next sale will be? I haven't got that answer, to be honest, Joseph. Scott's your man. I don't think Scott's in at the minute. He might appear. He might be around at some stage. But at the moment he's not in, so I can't give you the answer, unfortunately. The only things, obviously, with like sort of selling promotion things we do is obviously stuff to do with the stream, but there's nothing on this week. So even in there, I can't give you anything for that. Next up is Pinner. What did the tie say to the hat? You go ahead, I'll hang around. My God. Outrageous. Just under a mile to Pinner. It varies, to be quite honest. With station assets, it can vary. To give you a sort of idea, Nottingham Station took Will, I think, about 5 to 6 weeks to build from start to finish. But other stations haven't taken as long. So, for another example, I think Attenborough Station, I think he spent 3 days and he had that finished. So it depends on what type of station it is. It depends how much work is to be done with it. It all depends what's there, really. I mean, Nottingham's an absolutely massive undertaking. There's all sorts to go with it. Obviously, you've got the tramway bridge that goes over the top. You've got all the car park assets that go around it. You've got all the intricate little signage, bits and pieces as well. They've all been made as separate assets. So Mark's placed every single station sign in Nottingham, all about one by one, piece by piece. So it's quite a big job. But again, it all depends on what type of station it is, and if it's just a 2-platform small station, it doesn't take as long as a big major station. There's track for the tramway. It's like we've got with the Sheffield section, there's the tracks there. Legend FIFA and SPG Win 29, thank you both for the follow. Good evening to you. Better jokes. God. This is the Metropolitan line, Cambridge Yorkshireman. So this is the route that runs between Aldgate, Uxbridge, Amersham, Chesham and Watford. Evening, Ross. Evening, Ben. Well, and underground route that has proper working signals. Imagine that. I'm alright, thank you, mate. I hope you're well too. Uxbridge is on it as well. So you've got. I'll show you the map. Hang on. Let me pause again for a minute. It'd be easier to explain it. So, starting off in the heart of London area, you've got Aldgate. So this is also shared with the Hammersmith City and Circle and is it the District? No, it's not, is it? Was it just Hammersmith City and Circle? I get mixed up with them. That runs up as far where they branch off this way, and then Baker Street you come up here. So then you run up to Finchley Road. You come out here. You join the Chiltern Main Line, which runs alongside. You then get to Harrow on the Hill here, and the line splits. So going down to the bottom line here, you come onto the Uxbridge branch, and then you join on, and the Piccadilly line also joins on there. There's a small section for that, which runs all the way down to Uxbridge here. And then if we go back, we have, again, back up the main line here. So you've got Watford, which is here. This is where we started on this run. Going back, we have at Chalfont and Lattermill, you've got the junction here. The single line branch to Chesham, and then Amersham down here. Yeah, we do have AI on the Chiltern line. You've got the 165 that runs up and down it. That's featured in our scenarios. Yeah, we've got East Cross Depot as well for the MML extension. That was built last week. I haven't seen it properly. I've seen a few little pictures of it. I've not actually got it on my build yet. I'll get that later on this week when we do a big build. But we're not going to Nottingham this week, so you'll see Nottingham next week as we run down there for the first time. So do come join us again next week. We have a big showing on it next week. We're going to do lots of it. I'll say tonight is Derby. Going down to Leicester. Underground Gary, good evening. Ethan, thank you very much for the follow. Good evening. You're enjoying the Chiltern line? Nice one, Joseph. That's good stuff. Thank you very much for the support as always. Chiltern line. On this section, on where the Chiltern runs here, you don't really see any freight at all. I think there's been like Class 20s dragging S stock over time, here and there. Possibly. But on the main Chiltern main line, there is freight that runs on that line between the Birmingham and London route. They come in, I think, at like Birmingham and... is it Bordersley? And then they run like down Banbury way and stuff, and then sort of leave again, head over towards Oxford. Whenever you jump on a trampoline, did you know it changes the season? No matter what time of year, it always begins spring. Oh my god. That is shocking. They get worse as the evening goes on, don't they? Honestly, the MML, this next extension, there's so much you can do. There's masses and masses of different options you can do. I can't wait to start seeing scenarios crop up for my personal drives off stream in the evening. It's going to be a route that I'm going to play to death, even though I've been obviously working on it. It's been quite an exciting route to build, really. Just looking back at timetables, I mean, I've been buying loads of freight master books. I'm getting loads of working timetables and stuff, so I can start building older scenarios and stuff. Because it's just a mass wealth of exciting operations, older stuff as well, which is what I'm wanting to do, really, like 37s and stuff like that, and 56s on the old coal trains and stuff to Ratcliffe, 20s and all sorts. Next up is Harrow on the Hill. Cash is waiting for the extension. Winner, winner. Don't forget, guys, if you are looking forward and don't want to miss when the release comes for the next extension, head over to our development page and then look for the extension for the Midland Main Line. So there's two on there. There's Awash Valley and DNL. You can sign up on there. You can put your email address in. You'll get an email notification when it goes live on sale, so you don't miss that. So the Uxbridge branch is just coming up now in the centre of these lines here. So it comes from the fly under, comes up and joins up to our line here now. You've done Uxbridge to Wembley, nice. Right, Harrow on the Hill. Oh, nice one, Ben. Excellent stuff. So yeah, you'll get an email sent to you when it's gone live. Or anyone else, obviously, that signs up to it. Once MML is done, would JT consider doing Derby, Birmingham via Tamworth? Never say never. There is loads of places we'd like to take MML. Birmingham's one we have mentioned as well. We would love to see it go that way. Again, we'd love to see it go everywhere. There's a lot of options. The other one is as well Leeds, and Leeds is another place that does get mentioned quite a lot. There's huge options and possibilities with it. So I'll never say never. And everyone that obviously requests these routes, we do take them into consideration because it shows that there's obviously people that want them. Birmingham's is such an interesting area to do. Next up is Northwick Park, so we're going to cross over onto the slow lines in a minute. If we continue straight on this, it would be the fast line, which would bypass all the stations. Birmingham would take a lot of work to do to get it right as well. It would take a lot of work. I reckon you could do it in about an hour. Do it in half an hour. I've never built an asset before. I'll do it in half an hour. I do agree though, it would be good to see it, and going from Derby down that way. Just slightly gone past the chevron there. Just to building the routes, I have no experience in building assets. I'd love to do it, but I just don't have that experience, unfortunately. I've been building routes for JT, well, this was the first one I worked on with JT. So I joined JT last January, but I didn't start building routes till around, I think about June, maybe just before June. So I did Met, and then I went on to doing Leicester to Trent Viaduct on DNL. So the stuff you'll see tonight is my section after the Trent Junction marks before. And then I've also been working on the Awash Valley. I've been doing Awash since February. I never had anything from JT on CD. I always got it digital. That way I won't lose anything. Golden. Older but golden. Good evening, Scott. Next up is Preston Road. Can't really answer about that on there, Jamie. It's obviously it's nothing to do with JT. But ask me again next time you see me on other stream. Wembley coming up quite soon as well. Should start seeing that pop up. Yeah, later on in the week I will be doing Jamie, yeah. Can I get the cameras to work this time? That's the big question. Stop shy this time. Wait. Oh, there's huge life in TS20. Many years left in the old girl. I think when DTG brought 64-bit, that opened massively. A lot more life into the game. It meant you can do more things with it as well. Push boundaries a bit more. Oh, I'm interested in Train Sim World. I'm looking forward to it. Because I want to see it evolve, and I want it to open up the, fingers crossed, one day, an editor and stuff like that. So I do hope that it does. Every time I do play it, I enjoy it. Just not enough stuff in it to keep me going yet. But for me, I do enjoy my drives I do on it. I mean, my favourite one was the Class 20 that came out. That's probably my favourite product. Remember your first route was Bristol to Exeter. I think my first JT route was Newcastle to York Modern many, many years ago when I first purchased. Flight Sim on JT stream when? Well, I've got Xbox Game Pass, so I actually have got Flight Sim 2020 on there waiting to play, so you never know. If Scott maybe allows it one day, we might do a trial trying to fly a plane. God help us. I'm going to have a look into it though, because I'm actually interested in how it works. It looks really, really good. I've been watching loads of videos on YouTube of people that have obviously got it early to like show it off and stuff. I found it really, really interesting. I never had the Severn Valley. That was an MSTS route, weren't it? I never had that. It'd be an interesting one if I do it. With that way. Fireman Blackpool. Thing is though, I want to just go into it and just stream it. I'd actually have a go at it and have a look around it and try and learn it first before I actually try and take off. But it's something that does interest me. Reese Games, thank you very much for the follow. Good evening. Train Sim World 2 will be on the console as well as the PC Legend Yes. I think as long as we all as I know what I'm doing, I have to have a co-pilot, but we never know. I think it'd be quite a good fun. If we can get the grips to it and figure it out. Oh. Lock the doors, that helps, doesn't it? Good evening, Reese. So we're on the Metropolitan line. Driving the S7+1. We're doing a trip from Watford to Baker Street at the minute. So we're just leaving Wembley Park now. What made me decide to join? Well, I've always been doing train sim stuff ever since TS came out. I've always been route building, even on the side when I used to drive trams. But I fancied a change in job as well, and I was quite lucky to get hold of this job really. Sort of through Mark as well. Mark helped me get the job as well, which was good. I've always enjoyed route building, so doing it as a paid job has always been something I was always like to have done. So, 10 years down the line, I've got there. My day's going very well, thank you, Ledge. Been fairly busy. Been doing quite a bit today on the MML route. Trying to get as much stuff sorted for today, for the showing. Getting stuff around Leicester sorted and tidying up areas. Your first flight tomorrow will be Teesside to Liverpool, John Lennon. Excellent. I'd definitely have a fly around Blackpool if I can figure out how to leave the runway. Monty the Horse, good evening, thank you for the follow. So on the MML we're going to be doing the class 222. Just going through Neasden. Little fact, obviously, you can see here there's 4 platforms, but the trains aren't really timetabled to actually stop here. The only time the trains really do stop is you'll find that they stop sometimes to let their staff off. So staff might be going home, so they'll jump off at Neasden. The other time they sort of stop at this platform is if any issues occur on such as either the Met Line or the Jubilee. You can stop there and allow passengers to either disembark or get on the train to get them further down the line on whichever line's gone down. CPL Jack, good evening, thanks for the follow. Yeah, the new 222 plum livery, I call it plum, isn't it? I think. Is it plum or aubergine they call it? I always thought it looked smart in the 222 when they put it on there. So it's 60 mph on this section. Next up is Finchley Road. Before then, after that, shall I say, is Baker Street. We will be on the Met Line again very soon, and we will do more tunnel stuff again. Obviously, trying to fit everything in this evening. We wanted to do so much of this, and then we could fit the running on the MML as well for you guys. Same again with this station as with Neasden, 4 platforms, same reason. If anything happens on the line, they can get the people on and off and get them down the line. That's Willesden Green. I've got them. I've not played them for a very long time, Jamie. I used to stream Euro Trucks a bit here and there. I don't have the time to play it, unfortunately. They are fantastic. I used to play them online. However, you do prefer the older Chiltern liveries with the blue seats, not from the grey livery. I like the new one. I prefer that new grey livery. It's quite smart. Or JT, think of an A stock? There's no plans to do an A stock, unfortunately, Mafjic. We're just about to pass over the North London line, so if I go out here, see the North London line is just down there. I think the sky thing in TS World is something to do with the Unreal Engine, I believe. That's West Hampstead there on the right hand side. So we're coming up to Finchley Road now, so we're going to leave the Jubilee line in a moment. That'll disappear. Midland Main Line as well to the far right of us, that goes down by the back of the cutting wall and into the tunnels, down to Marylebone. We do see the Chiltern line again very shortly as we come out at Lords and go over the Grand Union Canal. This is Finchley Road. Yes, it could be off to London Underground in Overground, so in the future. Is that actually a thing that could happen? Jamie, I mean, we obviously read the chat in here, and if we see people ask for certain things, we always do take things into account. So we do make note of these things that are wanted. Evening, Rob. I was going to say the Overground's obviously third rail. S-stop will require fourth. XSF, good evening. Thank you for the follow. My next and final stop is Baker Street. And plenty of approach controls. Mile an hour for the first section. We do go up to 45 at Swiss Cottage. So we've got Swiss Cottage, which is just here now. Single board tunnels at the minute. It's only a short section of single board tunnelling on the Met line as well. It's between Swiss Cottage, so Finchley Road, Swiss Cottage, and then it opens back up in obviously to where you see both lines. It goes back into single board up to Marlborough Road, which is where we're coming up to now. So we've got approach control coming up now. There we go, that's changed over. I thought I could hear it rain, it's lashing it down. Down the end of this tunnel we have some more approach controls. It's called Swiss Cottage because there used to be a massive bakery making Swiss rolls. Imagine. This is Lords, so there used to be an old station here as well. Shut quite a while back, in the 60s it shut. We have the Midland Main Line again on the right hand side of us. I'm going a little bit fast here. It's not going to change. It's going to change. Oh, I just caught it. I forgot all about that last one. And I got laughed at then if I'd have messed that one up. So the next one is a draw-up signal, which is the fun one, which is 5 miles an hour, going on a hill, so going downhill towards the signal. You've got to keep the speed. That one's a 15 mile an hour signal. I recommend it if you you struggle with the signals. Do have a watch. As I talk you through all the signal speeds you need to be doing. So this is the draw up here now. So this one is the 5 mile an hour signal. So you need to do 4.9 mile an hour to make it to actually activate. BVE, absolute beast of a game. If you do if you do more than 4.9 mile an hour, it'll stay red. You've got to do, unfortunately, 0.1 below the actual speed. It's just the way TS works with the approach control stuff. Oh yeah, what's going on with my ETA? That's bizarre. What's occurring? There's a train up there. We'll just tap that and just see what happens. It's probably going to trip me. As to be expected. This is restricted mode, so this will not let you go over 10 mile an hour. I've reset it, yeah. So if you hear the little click, that was the reset of the trip clock. So to make it this way, you have to take it out of dead man, make sure you're in neutral or brakes, flip it into restricted forward, and then press trip clock reset. Then put your dead man's back on. You can go. You can spad, but then you've got to drive at 10 mile an hour for 3 minutes. Which, honestly, trust me, it feels like the longest 3 minutes of your life. Pete's saying go over 10. Probably right, to be quite honest. So we'll be on MML in a few minutes, guys. Great run, driver. Time for a cuppa before your next trip. We're going to be doing Derby to Leicester. I'll be back in a few minutes, guys. Right, we are here. We're in. Right, so Derby, Nottingham and Leicester. We've started here a few times in a row, actually, to be quite honest. We've actually, every time we've done everything, we've started from around in this area, so we're actually going further afield this time. We're going in the direction of Leicester for the first time in a while. We have done stuff before from Leicester, but it was quite early on in development, so you'll see quite a bit this evening. Good evening, Will. All right, mate. Right, so we're on class 222 for the run as well. Train line, good evening. So 222012, and it's service for London St Pancras, London. The new track again. That's going to be one of the features that you'll get when the update for Sheffield Derby comes at the same time as the extension for Midland Main Line. So it'll all come out at the same time, so you'll get all this. Brushworks is about halfway or so complete. There's one building missing on the end by the station, but a lot of it is all finished, so you'll see quite a lot of it. You'll see what's what. Just ignore a couple of the gaps. So let's get ourselves set up. Good evening, driver. Please press T and open the doors and prepare for our 17:33 departure time. We are booked to call at Long Eaton, East Midlands Parkway and Loughborough before our arrival of 18:02 into Leicester. Alright, so instrument lights are on. Nope, don't want to do that. We'll do it on the keyboard instead. I'm going to disable that because it annoys me. Right. So just waiting for the doors to shut. What was I drinking? I was just drinking a small kind of pale ale. Nothing extravagant. Just something left over from weekend. Oh yeah, that's right. You went, didn't you, early last week, Jamie? So you'll get to see that. Yes, we can have a look when we're at the station, definitely. East Midlands Park, we're excited to see that as well. We'll take you for a look. Again, you'll get to see Ratcliffe as well in some way this evening. We'll take you for a little look at there. Not going to do the full look around Ratcliffe because we want to feature that in its own way. Because we're getting totem signals, so anyone knows what totem signals are? They're called creep signals, which you'll see around the different like coal sites and stuff like that. So they draw trains forward. So we're going to get them in as well. 170 just arriving there. Yes, there is an add-on to Matlock, which is the Derwent Valley. That is already out. £7.99. Adds on the section of scenery down to Matlock from Ambergate. So I'll just show you quickly the map before I get proper going. So we are down here at Derby, going to head south down this line here. So we come up to Sheet Stalls and Trent Junction. So we're going to... Oh, it's gone. Try again. So last week we went off in the left-hand direction back up towards through Towton. So this week we're going to go down south. So we're going to travel this way. So you've got Ratcliffe here, Loughborough. You've got Syston Junction here as well, which is where you would go off towards Peterborough, Melton Mowbray and all that lot. And Leicester. The run's about 30 minutes, so sit back and enjoy. No, it's not a Yazoo, do you mean? Yahoo Yazoo? No, it's not one of them. I do like Yazoo. We won't be seeing Nottingham on this stream. You'll see Nottingham next week, Kieran. So do join us again next Monday at 7:30. Yes, Syston Junction, that takes you towards Old Dalby as well. So I think you go to Melton Mowbray and then you turn back and go towards Old Dalby test track, don't you? There. So we've got RTC on the right hand side, which is and Exeter Park, which we'll hear from Sheffield to Derby. Long Eaton is 7.5 miles away. We went to Long Eaton Christmas last year for the research for the station. We were on our way to our Christmas party, and we called at a few locations on our way to get some bits and pieces photo-wise. And again, Long Eaton was one of them places we went to. We did Attenborough as well, and we nipped to Cossington as well, one of the bridges there. At that point it was lashing it down and cold. Yes, the ZZA would work very well in the RTC area. I'm sure you can find some use. There is actually some workings where 37s have took these ZZAs across from different places there. So, again, huge price of 000. Grab them, they're free. Use them. Enjoy them. So we're coming up to Spondham. So 100 mile an hour on this section. You get some good speed on these on this section that we're doing today. So you get like 110s, I think 120 as well. I don't think we get 125 if I can remember correctly, but I'm sure 120 crops up in this section. This is the local lockdown express since we're on Leicester bound. Is Leicester still in lockdown? Have they been taken back out? We've all, speaking on track as well, when you mentioned raised ballast, I don't think we have it on this section, but there is, around the Toton area, we've got different ballast sections where it rises up even higher and then drops back down. It's quite cool. When we head over to Toton again, we'll show you that. I think it only came in this last week. Just minor restrictions in place, right, I see. Yeah, there's restrictions lifting there as well, aren't they? Yes. Put it this way, you're allowed to the pub but not your grams. It's wrong, I know. Hopefully everything will these restrictions will change again soon. If anyone lives in that area. Must be hard. It was hard enough the first time when everyone was in lockdown. Glad you're enjoying it, Samurai. .3 to Long Eaton now. It's crazy, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. Oh, you're hoping to do the Heart of Wales line, are you? Nice. Right, Long Eaton's just appeared on our HUD, so we'll start slowing shortly. In the 222 we use the level crossing, between the level crossing and the next bridge, as a boundary and sort of guideline for stopping. So we'll start slowing down now. You see Ratcliffe Power Station's a huge chimney has just sprung into view, dominating the area. So the brakes are probably sprung on now. think I might have made a bit of a meal of that. Oh, they're going to stop at the HST sign? No, maybe a little bit too far. My 222 driving sometimes is a bit atrocious, trying to get the brakes right. But the doors are opening. We are virtually there, it's just missed a little bit. So I'll take you through a little look around on the station here. So we've got all sorts of bits of signs and the walkways down to the lifts there. You hope the bus that goes to Asda Houghton is stimulated. I think there was the supermarket and all that side. There is loads of roadways around there, so there might be a bus stop in there. I'm not too sure. It's Mark's section, that. I can't remember off the top of my head. The bins. These bins actually came with Sheffield to Derby, so they've actually been around for a while. I enjoy using the bins. They're quite cool little assets. Got posts as well. This one's obviously used from the Derwent, but it's featured here as well. So this one obviously showing all the stuff. We've shown it before, but it just shows you different things about the Derwent line. The UK Centre of Quality. Same again, virtually on this side. It's like mirrored. We used this walkway when we got onto the station. And when I say we, I did. Mark and Will ran away from me and hid. So I had to try and find them for a bit. It was quite amusing for them. Right, let's get back into the train. You can see Ratcliffe Power Station just in the distance there. Dominates the scene. Used to be a great model shop in Long Eaton, so I'm now closing them. Oh, that is a shame. That's horrible. I did get very mad at it, didn't I? Couldn't find you. Just waiting for the buzzer. Joe Alka, thank you very much for the follow. Jetson John as well, thank you for the follow just before. Apologies if I didn't acknowledge. No, they were the other side of the station messing around, trying to hide. Found them eventually. I know, you're a very tall man. The mouthiest Yorkshireman. So this is Sheet Stores Junction, and then we go on to Trent Junction. So we're taking the line to the right today, not the left, which is what we've been using for the past few streams. We'll be going that way again next week when we go to Nottingham, so do come and join us next Monday at 7:30 if you want to come and see Nottingham. So let the train sort of slow down to the station. Evening, Az. Good evening, mate. Good to see you. Don't worry. Don't ever apologise. So we're just approaching East Midlands Parkway. I'll take you for a little look around here in a minute. I'm coming in very slow here. That was mainly because I was on the, obviously, the external camera. I'm a little man, but make up for in arrogance. It's very slow. That was just because I know I was flying through the station. Ignore the 3 chimneys up ahead. They're placeholders for custom bridges that are due to come soon. Stopping points here somewhere. So I'll just take you for a little look round, obviously here. So this is East Midlands Parkway Station. Mega cooling towers. Proper dominates. And we've got date and plates as well, which we've started adding in. This is the first route that actually features, or possibly could have been Derwent actually might use these as well. Obviously MML is the first of our routes that have the date and plates that we're placing. So let's have a little look around at the power station. So we had some screenshots that appeared on Facebook and the website today. Will built the towers. Will built the cooling towers, and Knitting built all the power station in the back. So everything you see, like onwards here, is Knitting's work as well, combined. It's an absolutely monstrous place. Honestly, when we looked at this, we were like, we'll have that and have that. We didn't realise how big of a place this was until we started like putting everything in. But it's, as you see, the scale of the place, it's monstrous. You've got the loop line that goes around, so you can go in and out. You've got a limestone unloader and a coal unloader as well. So the trains come in this direction, go through the whichever designated unloader they need to go to, and then they run round and then come back out again to the main line. There is some scenarios that feature in here, yes, so you will be able to run straight out of the packet into here. I'm not sure how many there is. I think there might be 1 or 2. I think there's definitely 1. There might be a second one, I'm not too sure. Mark's on the scenarios for them, so there is something that does feature in here to get you moving and get you going. Again, there will be creep signals, so I'm not going to show you full like track detail this week because the creep signals haven't been put in yet and done. So when they come in, we will give you a right good look at that. I'm going to get back into the train, get ready for our departure from here. But again, we will have a good drive in there and take a good in-depth look. It took quite a while to put all that lot together as well. It isn't all one big asset. It's all like it's a big jigsaw. So everything all attaches to each other to get it all lined up, and that it's quite a job. I think I was working on that for about 2 weeks on and off, and getting it all put in. Knitting and well done. Some fantastic assets that have gone in there. You do get smoke coming out of the cooling towers as well. You can just see it. We do need a very good 58. Yeah, the 58 we've got's not quite up to scratch, really, is it, for driving, unfortunately. Class 20, 58, 45. All sorts of action will be seen on this route. As always, jump the fence with a rule to make sure. FPS wise, currently, I'm getting 35 to 40. Oh, I've just turned my engine off because I've just done my CTO and whatever it is, Shift Z. Let's just turn that back on. Evening, Mark. The cooling towers are new, yes. All new. So next stop's going to be Loughborough. So Loughborough is 6.5 miles away from where we are. JT charter plane. I can show you what brushworks we've got obviously complete. I'm not going to go right into it because it's not finished around the back, but bar one asset on the front, we can give you a good look around there. There's loads of detail going on, so we'll show you that. There's underground factory works on our left, Jen. So the GC North, I assume, is this one. There's a small section of it, just for filtering AI in, really. The whole line's not in it. This is Sutton Bonington cutting. The Grand Central North, so it's a heritage railway, but there's a freight, some freight traffic that runs down there, I believe, as well. Is it gypsum, is it, that goes up there? There's no plans at the moment to do mid-Hants. We've got a few streams planned for the next few weeks, but it will come on again, Joseph. Just keep your eye out on the Facebook page for our plans. We're pretty much planned up for the next 3 to 4 weeks. Mysterious, good evening. Yeah, there's the bridge in the gap, aren't there? Is it called the project where the new bridge is in? We haven't got the new bridge in yet on the route. There's a couple of placeholders for the sides, but there's nothing. It's not fully finished yet in that respect. We're just approaching Loughborough. We've got the plum aubergine livery. It's already in with the 222. There's no plans to do. I know they're doing another livery on the 222, but there's no plans to do that. to slow down here. The brakes always catch me out. Take you for a little look around Loughborough before we get moving again. So station's all in. All the bits and pieces have been put in. Finished early this area last Friday. So there's lots to see here. Leave that off for a second. So ignore the bit on the right. That's the building still to come. But you've got big brushworks here. All the signs light up at night as well. It was quite smart when it's all done. Loughborough from the road bridge. I certainly can, Pete. We've got you can go to the brushworks, by the way. It's just obviously it's not quite complete yet, so I'll show you off properly. When we get it all in, we'll do something in there, and I'll probably throw a scenario together at some stage, and we'll do a little drive in there and drag something about or something. I've never been to Loughborough myself. It's somewhere I never managed to get to, but hopefully we've done it justice with all the bits and pieces that have been done to it. It's at night time really cool. That big sign, it's absolutely fantastic when you see it at night. There is some nighttime scenarios as well, so you'll get to see that. And as well, at Ratcliffe Power Station, obviously, if you've seen the screenshots there, you'll see that little, so the big tower that lights up with the red spotlights and everything when you get into that distance as well. It was really, really cool. Thank you very much, Pete. Very kind of you. It's just over a month old now. Time flies. It really does. This one was one of your favourites, was it, Will, to do? That's good. I've enjoyed putting all the stuff together on this, to be fair. Like, obviously putting all the foliage in on it as well, making it obviously it's all overgrown on one bit. But nice. It's quite an interesting station, all this bit as well. So you've got the old disused section here. It's quite a nice one to do, work with. The heritage railways are near. They're not featured in the route though. They're off in the distance, so one of them's there. That's as much you'll get with it. We haven't got any tracking it. And then the bridge goes here, so this is where the custom bridge is going to go in, over here. And then you've got the other line that goes to the north down there. I say it'll all be tied up, that will be, when it's all ready to be done. That'll be done the next week or so. Still think it's the best looking platform texture in TS. That's very kind of you, thank you. I can't take credit for the platform textures, by the way. Will did these. This is one of Will's stations. We place like Brush, the RTC and Leicester LIP. Pretty much anything could work. And you've also got Eastcroft as well. So you've got the Colas depot down there as well. So there's another depot, and you've got Toten as well, don't forget, train line. There's a lot of options. Jamie, not a problem. Thank you very much. Hope you've enjoyed. We'll catch you very soon, mate. Alright, next stop is Leicester. 12 miles. 12 and a half. We'll go through a couple more stations. We're not going to be calling out. So you've got Barrow upon Soar. You've then got Salby and then Syston as well, which we'll be going past. We'll also go past Mount Sorrel on our way through, so we'll take you for a look there as well. We'll have a look at all places on our way through though. Evening, Selneck. So the Great Central North comes in on this little section here, which you can just see the line coming in and it joins on here, so you can do little bits and pieces there. DCSC, not a problem. Hope your shift goes well. Take it easy, and we'll see you very soon, mate. Thanks for joining us. So, you'll see in the distance there is a chimney. That actually is marking out, again, there's another asset to go there. So there'll be a big canal marina, which is going to go in that place. It's quite a big place, actually. Again, that'll be something that'll be coming very soon into the route. So that view will change very soon. So we've got the river and the canal. So we're going into barrow upon saw cutting now. So we've got the station here as well at barrow upon saw. You can see in the distance as well the gypsum plant. This bridge here, I'll make notes, but it's pulling me away from it. No hands. We'll make note of that. Thank you very much for the heads up there, Mad Matt. So here we've got Mount Sorrel. So you've got the loader here as well. The loader actually works. You can, if obviously with wagons that obviously facilitate that feature where you can load them up, you can actually use these loaders. So you can see there, the little arrows that appear when you highlight over it. And all the sidings as well there. The gypsum plant in the background there. We'll make note of that. Thank you, Mad Matt. I'm lost of loading in because I've been in a different tile. There they are. They're all here now. Other views here, like when the sun's on the right way, you get some nice screenshots with all the buildings in the background there. Certain scenarios do have wagons in the yards. Some don't. It all goes with the timetables and stuff like that and the workings. Still loading me loss in. There we go. My pavements have all come in. So I'll just pause the game for a minute there so we can have a look around at Sowley Station. You can actually go up here, walk through. You feel like you've come to the party a little late, but will this be cohesive with the... It will. It will all add on to the existing Sheffield Derby. So Derby Nottingham Leicester is our next extension. Providing you've got Sheffield Derby, you can add that on. Or there will be a standalone version as well. So there'll be a standalone Derby Nottingham Leicester. So you can, if you don't obviously want to do that option where you can add on, you can have separate. If you only want a certain part of the route. Yeah. Before my train drags me away. I haven't a clue off the top of my head for the download size at the moment. I couldn't tell you. I haven't got that figure on me. We'll be able to obviously give you all them details. Everything will be put up on website as well when it all comes to that time. So again, there's a couple of bridges that are not in yet. Those will be coming very soon. Anyone for a poker pie? So that's the line that goes off towards Melton Mowbray, Peterborough, and all that way. This is Syston Junction. You went there today to collect a van from work. What are the chances? Can't beat a poker pie. So this is Syston Station, quite a small one. Do you repair all the vans there? Oh, cool. Chicken Balti pie, yes. Now you're talking. The service to Cambridge that's just leaving here now. Oh. What I shouldn't do sitting at bridges because it takes me onto another tile and it doesn't load up. At the minute, the scenarios that I've got, they're all the ones that use the AP stock. There will be default ones as well. It will be a mix. This will load in a second. There we go. Blame my AMD. Everyone else does. Some scenarios have the network rail stock in, yes. I've paused the game as well, so it's not going to drive off onto another tile, just so I can show you the stuff that's been done. So quite built up around here now as we approach into the Leicester outskirts. So a load of industrial stuff on the left, and then it builds up into the housing areas. We'll get back in here now because we are already speeding and I need to start slowing down for Leicester. If you can get the link on it, or if you can get it to our Facebook page, and if you forward it like for the attention of Tom, Will, or Mark, it'll get to us. We'll find it. That way we won't lose it in this chat. And the buildings are constructed with a mixture like proper images that we're going out and get the research for. Google imagery, Street View the guys will just get whatever they can and construct the buildings from. So we're just coming into Leicester now. So power signal box is just on the left hand side there. What we'll do is I'll get to the station and then I'll take you for a proper look of what's in this area. Have you got Will's email? Excellent. If you can send it to Will that way, that's fantastic. We'll get it. So please note this section is not fully complete yet. I'm still working on the area. It's coming along nicely. Premier in. Thomas Cook statue. I don't know, to be fair. I don't know where that is. I do apologise. I don't know where it is. I'm not going to open the doors yet because otherwise it'll end the scenario. Yes, so the route goes a little bit further down the line there, just around the bend. But this is as far as we're going to go. Needs to have a Vic Berry's yard in there, 4 to Sky scrap locos and coaches. So the bridge literally, Will did the bridge today. So this has only just been put in this afternoon, so. So this is the LIP yard. Haven of many fantastic locos that are stored here. There's we've spoke about it, so never say never, Joseph. At the minute, there's no plans as such to start working to going further south, but it's something that we have spoke of, so it may happen, it may not. Can't say yeah or no at the minute. Chuck Yoga, thank you very much for the follow, and Johnson MUFC as well, just a short while ago. Good evening, guys. So again, that's the power signal box there. Yeah, there is loads of locals here. I mean, we could have gone to town with this yard and put loads in, but the issue is we didn't want to cram too many things into these scenarios that everyone needs tons of requirements just to see a lineup of locos here. And I know when obviously the route comes out, everyone will do it anyway. So when the community start making their scenarios, I expect to see these yards will be absolutely brim with locos, as which I will be doing as well, my own stuff. It's just that we didn't want to go too over the top, that it's unplayable for people, that they can't open it up. So yeah, so this is still obviously all work in progress. I'm not going to go over there. There's a stadium over there. I don't know if that's a rugby stadium. No, there is a stadium in. It's not the exact stadium, but there is a stadium. And then you've got the cutting that just takes off down to the end up there. So. And there you have it. Oh, there's this place here. This is a college, Moat College. Not sure if that's what you mean. Is that well for? I'm so rubbish with sport. It's a stadium to me. I have no idea. But yeah, you've got the city over there as well. But we're coming back here again next week, guys. So do expect to see a lot more completeness here as well. That'll be done over the week with my job this week. I hope you've enjoyed it though, guys. And thank you for the huge numbers of you that have turned up to come and have a look this evening. It's massively appreciated. It's great to see so many of you are keen and interested in all the kind comments as well. I'm sure Will and Mark are still here in the chat somewhere listening. I think Will's gone, but I'll appreciate it on all our behalf. We do appreciate your kind words, and your feedback as well. We'll take all your feedback on board, and we'll do what we can to tweak anything that possibly does need tweaking. So that does mark the end of the stream as well. We will be back next Monday. We're going to be doing more of the routes. We're going to be going Nottingham as well, so you'll get to see that for the first time. So do come and join us from 7:30 next week if you wish to come and see Nottingham in all its glory. Oh, Mark is here. I didn't realise you're still here, mate. Excellent stuff. Thank you, guys. Have a good one. Enjoy your week. Stay safe, whatever you get up to, and we'll see you hopefully next Monday. Have a good one all.